We're with Coach Gundy as the Cowboys get ready to face the Arkansas Razorbacks. It's interesting. We've got 4 games with Arkansas, 2 at each venue. You're about to start a home-and-home with Oregon. After that, it's Alabama. The thing I think of is just tells you how far this program has come, that you have an opportunity to play those super high caliber programs in home-and-home series, because 20 years ago, if it happened, it was rare.
No question. And as we move forward into 12 or even potentially 16-team playoffs, I think teams that play difficult non-conference schedules will be rewarded. So there's always that gray area of how physical do you want your non-conference to be? Because when you get into the conference, you get beat up. You're always fatigued and beat up in November. But with the expansion into playoff, I think it'll be good. And we've come a long ways here at Oklahoma State in the fact that we have top 5 teams in the country that we have home-and-home games with.
How do you feel about Alan Bowman's progress? I mean, it looked like we saw some things Saturday from him that indicate the type of growth that you talked about in the offseason. What did you see specifically?
He improved in setting in the pocket and not flushing for no reason. Now, there's times a quarterback has to flush and get out, but last year he was moving out of the pocket when he didn't need to move out of the pocket, which then puts the offensive line in jeopardy because they're trying to keep themselves between the defender and him, and if he escapes outside, they don't know that. So he improved in that area, and I felt like I know that he was much better in distributing the ball to the people that we want him to based on our RPO system.
It's easy to forget that, he was basically had not played in a game in several years when he arrived here. And of course, he comes here from Michigan where, obviously he didn't really get a chance to play. And so there was probably some rust. And in your system, you've always said you want a quarterback that's had a lot of experience in it before they play. So there were some unique dynamics with him that would make you think he would be a lot better this year.
That, and as you know, all the quarterbacks that we've had in years 2 and the ones that were here enough to play 3, they play considerably better. The system is set up that way. So I'm hoping that he's fallen into that group now, that he has a comfort zone with what we're doing. Because offensively, we want to reduce negative yardage plays. We want to minimize turnovers and get the ball distributed to whoever gives us the best chance versus it run or pass to move the football. And that's his responsibility.
What's your biggest concern with Arkansas?
Well, their quarterback can run it and throw it. Anytime you play a quarterback that has the ability to take off and run, and he's, 6'5", 6'6", he takes huge steps. So they get out in space, and it's hard to catch them. So we have to do a really good job of being disciplined and handling him in the option game, read zone, power read, make sure that we have good responsibility and who's got the back, who's got the quarterback. And then we have to be able to put some pressure on him. So anytime you're facing a dual threat quarterback, you always want to be able to make them move their feet some in the throwing game so they're not just sitting there, where they can have a lane to take off and run.
It's such an intriguing matchup from this standpoint. Your team is loaded with players who not only have experience, but have experience playing together at Oklahoma State. Arkansas has a lot of experience, but they have 15, I counted, first-year transfers in their 2 deep. So you've got a lot of experience, but it's been put together in different ways.
75% of their 2 deep weren't on their team a year ago. I think that would be pretty accurate. So this is the first team that we've played in the NIL era who has completely revamped their team in the offseason through NIL and the portal. Now, we've played teams that have invested a considerable amount more money in NIL than we have. For example, Texas last year.
Right.
but the majority of their team was already there on their team, and they just kept them there financially. This team, as you said, has revamped 75% of the two deep through the new era. So this is an interesting concept, as you said, because first time we've played a team that's done that just in the off season.
Thanks for watching. We'll have a review of the Arkansas game on our next show. We'll see you then.